Autumn is in the air. It's coming. At least here to Amsterdam. You could just feel it and smell it.
Yeah, you can smell it.
Yeah, you can really smell it in the air. The smell of dyed leaves. Walls up means they're working on something. No idea what it could be. But those of you that watch the channel, you guys have seen in a couple of videos that this is normally what the tourists wait with their luggage. So maybe now they're going to make something like permanent for tourists. Like a permanent place where tourists can wait with their luggage or something. We'll see. So there is a huge cruise ship, which is always there. There's always a huge cruise ship.
Except when we have the gimbal with us.
Except when we have the gimbal and the nice microphone, and except when we're not prepared to vlog it. But we cannot pass up the chance because today there is no security keeping people away. So me and Mike, it looks like there is no security. Sometimes there is security that prevents people from going all the way up to the ship. But today it looks like we're fine. So me and Mike gonna try and see. Let's see if we can do this.
Turn around.
Oh yeah, give you this panorama of the city. Panorama. It's beautiful. Me and Mike once came here and it was really windy, like almost stormy. Which I love. I love storms and winds. I know I shouldn't be saying this because it's a big force of nature and it's dangerous and all that, but I just love it. Ever since I was a kid, you know, we grew up on the beach and my grandma had this very old, fragile home on the beach because she was poor. And so it was not really isolated, so I could hear the storm and the ocean. But I would just crawl up against her and she would, you know, tell me stories and things like that. So this is why I think I grew to love stormy weather. It's linked to some really nice memories. Look at that. That's a huge ship. It looks like condo building. It's huge. Anyway, so I was here with Mike and we found some really beautiful artificial flowers here. And I took them because I couldn't let them just, you know, lay around. There was no one to talk to or to ask if they belonged to anyone. And it was really windy and it was just a crazy day. They were just laying around. So, this is the Beam House for jazz and that kind of genre. You guys need to watch one of our last walking tour videos that we did. Don't forget to turn on your subtitles for info. So last time we were here and there was this one of these cruise ships. There was a security lady standing here telling people to go back and look at this view. Look at this view. Oh wow, look at that. Especially when you correct the overexposure, you get this. And all of this, and you still don't have to be among people. So that's really awesome. Just need to make sure that I don't go flat on my face. These stairs are really crazy. It looks like one big piece of wood. So you cannot tell where one step begins and the other ends. All right. Okay, now I can focus again. So in our last walking tour video, we showed you, but then we were standing on the other side. We showed you that here you can get on these swings. Well, now you see them from up close. I love swings. As a kid, I grew up with a crazy family. My crazy sister and brother and nephews living around us. They were so dangerous. They were just those crazy kids with crazy minds. They would push you so high that you almost smack against the other building that was in front of us. It's crazy. So one day, this is an interesting story, you guys. One day I was sitting on the swing, and then I don't know, one of these crazy family members was pushing me that high that I came that high somewhere over there. And guess what I saw? This was in Morocco. I saw a snake up the wall trying to get through the window to the tenants of my aunt that was renting out some of the rooms.
Are you battling again?
No, I'm actually telling them a really interesting story that I don't think you know about. I don't think I told the story to Mike, but he will see it. You want me to push you?
I want to...
Push me higher, push me. Yeah?
No, it rained last night, so
Yeah.
it's extremely wet.
Yeah, look, it's dripping.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, let me push you.
Let me feel like a child.
Let's be kids again. Channel the child in you.
You know, anything for likes.
Huh?
Anything for likes.
Yeah? Want me to push you harder?
No.
You can take a good...
No.
You can take good dive, Mike. If I push you harder, you can just shoot out the swing right into the water. Whee!
It's dripping.
Huh?
Dripping.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, you need to let yourself go. Just have fun.
I think it's designed that it's good.
This is... look at Mike. Being cute.
That's my phone.
There are bees. There are a lot of bees buzzing around. There's another bee trying to attack you, Mike. In front of your face. Wait, the other bee just landed on his face.
It's a wasp.
It's a wasp? That's because you're so sweet.
Yeah?
My honey, Johnny, bunny. I don't know that song.
Let me get a video.
Jack bubble gum. Do you guys know that song? I don't know the words for it. I don't know the words, but I think you know the one. That one always makes me smile. You're my plum chum plummy plum matney kali. I should stop before I say crazy words that just come out of my mouth. Look at Mike having fun. Wait.
Nou, de achtergrond is leuk juist.
Look at him having fun. Being cute in the swing.
The older the crazier.
The older, the crazier. That's for sure. Wow, I see black swans. It's been a long time ago since I've seen.
Swans.
Are those black swans? Yeah. But we're here to focus on Mike having fun on the swing.
Okay, I'm done.
You're done? That was fun. We did a little bit of swing. But now we're a little bit dizzy. Are you dizzy, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Because I'm an old fart.
Yeah? Well, I'm an old fart too. But seriously, yeah, I do feel a little bit dizzy. It's been a while since I've been on the swing. Morning. It's been a long time ago since I was on a swing. So yeah, my brain is trying to adjust. Look at that monster. This is really a monster. It's huge. Celebrity apex. Where are celebrities? Open the doors before I just kick them open. As a kid, there was, well, when you grew up, you have those ideas about what you want to become and all that. So, but one of these stages that I had growing up, trying to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to become and be, I thought about being a sailor just because, for the adventure. I really wanted it. Then when I grew up, I wanted to join the Navy, but then my father was like, what? Well, first I wanted to go to the fashion academy, design clothes. So my father was like, no, I'm not going to have my son doing some sort of a gay thing, even though I am gay. So we had a huge fight about that. So then he gave me complex and I wanted to prove myself and I wanted to go to the Navy. But then it really started to grow on me, that idea. And I really loved the idea of, joining the Navy. The whole thing, it actually started to become something that I really wanted to do from the heart. But then he was like, so you go from one extreme to the other, now you go throw yourself into danger? No. My father was impossible. That's why he had to go out of my life. But look at this ship, you guys. This ship is humongous. It's crazy. Can you call this ship anymore? It's just a floating building.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I wonder if this still has...
An apartment block.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you think this still has the charms of a ship? I don't know.
No.
I've never been in one that is this big.
Well, it depends on the weather.
Yeah, okay. You mean the water sound and the... Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's just keep walking a little bit and... Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, shall we do that, Mike? Let's just first see what we can see from here, from this level. I'm really trying to keep the phone balanced because, like we said today, we were not prepared to make a vlog for the reasons we mentioned earlier. So I'm sorry, this is a step back from the last videos. We're not using a gimbal, but I'm trying to keep it as steady as I can. So this is the name of this ship for anyone that loves to look up info. And I know we have a couple of you, because sometimes some of you guys send us messages telling us, hey, what you saw there and there, this is this and this. And we love that. So please feel free to do that. And that's how we all learn and share with each other. That's what makes life nice. I always wonder, a couple of pods, like rescue pods, 440 persons, but only a couple of them, is that sufficient for this monster? I don't know. Let's just hope so. Let's just hope so. Morgen. Wow, look at this monster. It's really big. It's really huge. Is this okay trouwens? Is it okay om... Oh, okay. It's really huge. Look at the luggage. It's that much luggage. When you have this big of a cruise ship, you have, of course, a lot of people getting on it, so a lot of luggage.
It's not for YouTube, right?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. We share the YouTube money. We share the YouTube money.
We're very small. It's just this. Nobody cares. One or two people watch. Nobody cares about our channel. But if I make any money, I will come back to you. Buy you coffee. Have a good day. I said if it's for you to make money, come back to me. Ah, sweetie. Who watches this? Nobody cares. We're old, we're boring, we're ugly, we're not what the youth wants to see, so.
I hear water, but I don't see anything.
No, there, right there. They're using this high pressure thing to wash the sides of the.
Oh, the clean.
I was just thinking, those rescue pods, as I like to call them, enough for this whole ship. You see only couples on the side.
That's why I don't take cruises.
That's why the lady is a tramp. So, I had to promise the security guy that if we make any money from this video, I must come back and share it with him. Yeah. So, so you guys, you better share this video.
Were they Dutch?
Yeah, he was Dutch. The security guy was Dutch, but I don't know about the. Yeah. Really kind guy. Sweet and funny. Going up, Mike? Gonna go up here?
Did you go up?
Yeah, let's do this.
It's wet, so
Yeah. Yeah, I even see a little bit of moss. Or is it just my eyes? No, I see a little bit of a greenish color.
come to the side because here it's not wet.
Yeah?
No. It doesn't come across.
It doesn't, no.
Hugeness.
No, I know. Mike says he doesn't come across on the screen, and I must agree with him. You're looking at this, and it's like, it's crazy big, but I don't know how you guys see it on the screen. That's just the handicap of video sometimes, in that regard. I mean, it's like crazy. It's very impressive and intimidating. And actually, you can see this from the city sometimes, the top of most cruise ships that come here. So they're big. And we can even see it from our bed, from our balcony. Yeah, time for a picture. We need to take a picture here. Look at it. I can even get it. This is I'm now doing wide angle, and I cannot get the whole of it in one frame. Stink? It stinks? What do you?
Smell the cacao.
Oh yeah. But that's just because we have a cacao factory somewhere around Amsterdam. Doesn't have to do with this. Yeah, so they used to have like a terrace, a coffee shop here. Oh man, my arm is getting tired. So these halls, they all need them. It's really big. It goes all the way to the back, and here you can see the end. It's huge. It's huge. And I just love the energy. Just love the energy around, these kind of cruise ships. People are working, and loading and offloading. I just love that energy. It's so cute. So this is just for the cruise, and this is where the passengers, you know, reach land through that little bridge. I think this is. You think this is a restaurant, Mike? This whole upper deck?
I think that's the main atrium or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Poseidon Adventure?
The Poseidon Adventure. No, I haven't.
I think this is a Maltese ship.
Yeah? Wow, look at that. This looks like a lookout. That one there. You're right here. I think that's for the captain. I see some screens, some TV screens. It's nice.
Look, there's a crane going up there.
Crane?
Up there.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's for cleaning the windows, I think. Yeah, I think that's for cleaning the windows. Beautiful. It's really nice. Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah. All right, my arm is getting numb. Oh, wait. It's an overexposure.
Cleaning the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is how they do it. Wow.
In case you're wondering, the capacity of that lifeboat is 440,
Yeah.
and the smaller ones are 223.
But that still isn't enough for this whole ship.
No, there's 3 more there, and then of course there's 6 on the other side.
I must say, they do look from this distance where I'm standing right now, they do look. These are the tourists that are staying on there. They're getting on their bike to explore the city. So they do look smaller from this distance, but it's crazy to think that 440 people can actually be in there.
Yeah. But it's wide.
Looks like the Star Tours bus.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Star Tours actually fits 440 persons?
400? I don't know. No, I don't think, no. Star Tours is less than 400.
Really?
I say,
That was a joke.
just looks, the outside looks like it.
Look, there's a hatch open there.
Those ropes attached to it do remind me of the animation movie An American Tail. Is that how it's called? American Tail?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you see these little mice coming down on the rope. Yeah, it's cute. All right, we're going down.
They have these security things for the rats.
For? Oh, yeah. Yeah. See these kind of things, guys? These blockage here, right here? That black thing? That's supposed to keep the rats from climbing all the way up. But I don't know, rats can hang upside down and that thing looks a little bit too big, too wide. No? The opening looks too big, so they can just, like twist and keep going upside down. That's what I would do if I was that mouse. It's so cute. I just love technology and love mechanics. I love what people can do. If we only put some to good use to create a better world. All right, enough. People littering all over. It's always sad. All right, that was fun. That was fun, you guys. It's been a while since we went up to one of these cruise ships.
Oh,
Huh?
mainly because it's always closed.
Yeah, it's always closed. Well, even now you guys can see security because we're living in a crazy times where we have to deal with a lot of crazy people that love to harm others. So I can understand. Times have changed. It's crazy times, uncivilized times. Yeah, let's just sit here for a while.
Okay, it's soaking wet.
Yeah, it is. Although the sun is shining on it. Look at that. Oh, I thought that this guy was another security boat, but I think he's actually fishing. It's nice. So normally we stand there and look to this side, but now we're looking from this side, and it's actually much better view to see it from this side. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy that Amsterdam has so many waters and ships and boats, and that makes me less homesick. Looks like the environment I grew up. Kind of. It's nice. It's a beautiful city. Amsterdam is a beautiful city. It's just slippery. All right, goodbye, celebrity apex. Wherever you go, I hope people stay safe and enjoy their journey and go back home safely. If the security guy that happens to look this up watches this, thank you so much for being sweet and kind and funny. And yes, if the video makes any money, I'm gonna come back and get you your coffee like I promised. That was fun on the swing. Swing was fun. All right, that was fun. Let's just stop here. They have, like I said in one of our other videos, they have a really nice restaurant with a really nice view and some really decent food. So just know that you have a lot of options. And if you happen to get off here, know that there are, yeah, love it. Know that there are a lot of places where you can get your food, groceries, rent a bike even, and all that on this side. So I made that lady turn around and look. I think she was thinking that I was pointing at her, maybe, or warning her from something coming behind. So just to give you some bearings, there is the central station, and behind these buildings is the city center where it's all happening. My arm is shaking a little bit. It's getting numb. All right, I'm gonna stop here, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget to turn on the subtitles, because if I can find any information, well, we gave you information about these buildings in one of the previous videos, but if I find any information about that ship, I'll be sharing it with you in the subtitles. Thank you so much for joining us and watching. Please don't forget to share and comment and subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So normally this is open when it's summer season. People come here to swim and all that, and this is, you know, this is open. But now they've put it back. It's been a while since me and Mike went over it. It's nice. It just brings you a little bit closer to this authentic replica of a ship that once it actually existed and sailed the seas. The Maritime Museum. It's really nice. If you've never been there, you should. You can get a ticket either just for the building to see the museum. Museum has a nice gift shop and a nice restaurant and coffee shop. Or you can get a combo, a ticket that allows you to see the museum and get on the ship. And once you get on that ship, you can explore literally every corner of it. Me and Mike have done that a couple of times and we enjoyed it.
As a matter of fact, we've done it on our very first date.
We've done it on our very first date, yeah, 14 years ago.
Almost 15.
Almost 15, yeah. It's nice. You guys should do it if you get the chance.
15 years.
15 years.
15.
My God.
My God.
15 years.
15.
And we managed not to strangle each other. Still.
Well, it was hard.
It was very hard.
It was hard.
It's very hard, I know. We had to suppress it.
It was hard. Especially you.
It still is. The struggle is still is. No?
You're still here, right?
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. I'm still here. I'm still here. So are you. I'm still here. But I was telling you guys about the ship. It's a really nice ship. You can even go to the
really nice.
captain's quarters right there and just explore the whole thing. There are no limits. You can explore literally the whole ship.
Yeah,
It's nice.
It is amazing, and it gives you a good insight of what those ships actually look like
Yes. Yeah.
from the inside, which is just insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And like I said, it's an authentic replica. So what you see is what it was. So you have this one, and then you have the ship that's called Amsterdam, which sometimes is here and sometimes isn't.
No, this is
not Amsterdam.
and the other one you're talking about is the Batavia.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No, I think this one is the Batavia.
No. The
No, because we filmed it last time. We filmed it.
The
No.
Batavia is one, and that was made over 20 years ago.
No, this
where
is.
they only used natural tools.
So look up the pictures that we took of the other ship.
And during its construction, I went there a few times, so I'm not talking about 25 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And they were doing it without modern tools.
Yeah, and they
That
were.
one is stationed in Lelystad, in Bataviastad, it's called.
And my father told me that it was all volunteers.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. People that either were on welfare or some sort of social security from the government that wanted to do something back for the society.
Yeah, and also learn a trade.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a good way. Beautiful. So guys, we just looked it up. So this is the VOC. Yeah, that's in the golden age when Holland had this trading route between here and Asia, I think it was. So this one is called VOC Amsterdam ship. And then there is the City of Amsterdam ship, which is another one that I'll put up somewhere here in a picture, which sometimes stands here, but not always. It's really occasional.
It's a modern sail ship with 3 or 4 masts.
Yeah, so we were confused because they both have Amsterdam in their name. Ah, beautiful. So the Batavia that Mike was telling about.
Yeah, which is built using only the natural tools, or no power tools, I should say. That's this one.
This one.
It's with the red lion.
It's with the red lion, but this one also has the red lion, as you can see. So sometimes it's confusing. I think the red lion stood for ships that went also to Asia. Not really sure, but the lion is of course also the weapon shield of Holland. We'll look it up.
Let's see.
There is young Mike.
Look at me.
Look at him.